If there are liberals out there who think that this is going to be a beneficial allegiance and not one that ends up harming them in the long run, they're delusional. Okay? Stop collaborating with fascists. They do not have your best interest at heart. They were calling you a pedophilic communist vampire last week. What makes you think things have changed now? What gives?
Антисемитизм называется распространение вражды к евреям. Когда проклятая исламская монархия доживала свое последнее время, она старалась натравить темных рабочих и крестьян на евреев.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we have seen the way that the Republicans operate. We have seen the way that the Republicans operate for the last decade, especially post Donald Trump. Republicans have always behaved this way. Donald Trump is just a logical conclusion of reactionary propaganda, reactionary politics in general. But the idea that Democrats need to join hands with the Republicans to fight against their common enemy, communism, is insane. Okay? Any Democrat that leans into this shit has to be a cynical actor. They have to be. Because it's very clear that these people have no respect for the Constitution. They have no respect for improving people's lives. They have no interest in improving people's lives. They are genuinely using the last vestiges of this once powerful country to steal as much of the productive resources, the productive output, and your money as they possibly can to enrich themselves, the pedophilic Epstein class, and their close associates and their fail sons. It's clear. It's clear that there is a plunder taking place right now. And it's clear for most people in the working class. It's even clear for the likes of, it's even clear for some in the Republican side. They still associate themselves with Trump and Trumpism because, you know, they've deployed too much. They've invested too much into this movement. So it's tough for them to see that this movement has failed them. But if there are liberals out there who think that this is going to be a beneficial allegiance and not one that ends up harming them in the long run, they're delusional. Okay? Stop collaborating with fascists. They do not have your best interest at heart. They were calling you a pedophilic communist vampire last week. What makes you think things have changed now? It's unbelievable to me.
To President Biden. Michael, lay it out there for us.
This guy is a classic example of this, right? Establishment Democrats that are running to cooperate with fascists in order to attack their left flank.
Is blue MAGA?
Well, I have no idea. I mean, the article said it in the New York Times said it was sort of anything for what anybody wants it to be. This is the first I've heard of it, actually, and since I read the New York Times piece.
It's catchy.
What's that?
It's catchy.
It's catchy, clever play on words. I give him credit. But look, if being blue MAGA means you want to avoid losers as candidates, like Graham Plattner or anybody who had a Nazi tattoo, or nominating Democrats with toxic positions like abolish ICE or defund the police, or banning private health care insurance, then sure, fine, call me blue MAGA, I guess. Those are not winners. Those are not winning issues or winning positions.
All right, here's what Hasan Piker told the New York Times. He said, blue MAGA is about cult-like loyalty to the Democratic Party, but unlike MAGA, it isn't centered around one person. It's centered around the image of a party that consultants and lobbyists have carefully curated. This obviously
cooked. Excellent take from that guy. I don't know who that guy is. He has a beard. Different guy than me, but kind of agree. I hear that and I think to myself, wow, that guy is going places. That guy is correct.
Obviously becoming the new ding on the party establishment folks like Nancy Pelosi who have spent their careers raising, I don't know, hundreds of millions of dollars for candidates.
Why is Fox News defending Nancy Pelosi's honor? Why is Fox News defending Nancy Pelosi's honor? When have they done that? Why are they doing that?
Yeah, and look, I understand a frustration with sort of the groupthink mentality sort of at the top. And I spoke out in the last cycle when I was, kind of sending some warning signals about President Biden's challenges and his vulnerabilities, and just even acknowledging that problems existed within the polling. And I lost friends. I was blacklisted from other networks. I was called a traitor or a bedwetter. I was called a lot worse than a...
Yeah, that's why now I can only go on Fox News to complain.
Blue MAGA. But I'm also not going to take advice from somebody who has no idea what he's talking about. I mean, this guy makes a living being a provocateur, saying provocative, offensive things. I'm glad he has a political science degree from Rutgers, but he knows nothing about government, politics, public policy, or anything.
Well, we appreciate you here, having you, enjoy talking to you on the program. Want to ask you about this while we have you. New York Magazine reports, like it or not, Kamala Harris.
Is he saying that you were in support of Biden? I mean, I was in support of Biden, reluctantly. I in 2019, if you go back far enough, you'll see in 2019, while the primaries were just beginning, I said, if we elect Joe Biden is going to set back any kind of progressive movement in this country. He's too old, and everyone can see that he's too old, and he is going to be a one-term president. It is a major mistake. But once past the point of Super Tuesday, when it was very clear that Joe Biden was going to be the candidate, unfortunately, when the establishment Democrats consolidated their support behind him, shouts out to Barack Obama for that, it was obvious that he was going to be the winner. Unfortunately, I reluctantly lent my support to Joe Biden. I did. I told my audience to plug their nose and vote for him. Okay. Joe Biden won, and change didn't come. And people were even more frustrated. They saw negative real wage growth for a year and a half under the Biden administration. That was hugely frustrating. And the Biden administration was absolutely, utterly incapable of defending against the barrage of reactionary attacks, saying that Joe Biden was opening up the floodgates of migration from the third world, all this stuff. One of the few good things that Biden did was pull out of Afghanistan. Everyone endlessly critiqued him for it. His reputation never recovered. There was a uniparty approach, different time. And then, Biden's crowning achievement for his devastating term was the complete advancement of Israel's genocidal project and genocidal ambitions over Gaza. And he will forever be remembered as the guy, as Genocide Joe. Yeah, this is back in 2020. I said, one truly wild thing that we haven't really talked about is Biden's stated interest in being a single-term president. Like, we're just going to throw away our incumbent advantage because Joe's going to be a vegetable by the end of his presidency. Truly incredible stuff. And at the time, the same centrist forces were yelling at me and saying, you're wrong. You're wrong. Because that was a false rumor. Turns out, it actually caused the Democrats to lose a tremendous amount of credibility amongst the base because they could see personally that Joe Biden's mental faculties had deteriorated, and they lost a lot of trust. Cedin deden Nesrin baban.